and today he's going to be sharing his best-selling book called Breaking Bread. The name itself is pretty curious, and so we are really all ears. So Gautam, over to you.
Thank you very much, Raji, for your warm welcome. It's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be with each of you here this evening. Thank you, Bharat, for the kind invitation. Before I begin, just want to make sure that I'm audible, loud and clear. If I'm not, please just let me know on the chat box at any time. Thank you. So Raji did share, I'm going to actually I didn't notice in the session when you were referring to some books, you took up one of my favorite books was Who Moved My Cheese? And the other two favorite books are Fish and Whale Done. Those may not have been referred to, but in the context, these are simple, short parables that even people who don't necessarily appreciate or have time or have the patience for reading, but these are books which are simple, short stories which have deep meaning. And I realized to myself that when you have books like Who Moved My Cheese, Fish Philosophy, or Whale Done, they're easy to read, they're inspiring, they're transformation, and they are well read. A lot of people otherwise buy books, but reading them is a second story. I'm going to take the chance to just share my screen. Just one second. Great, you all can see the screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. So I'm going to speak for about 20 to 30 minutes now, and then I'm going to open it up to Q&A, because to me, question and answers is absolutely important for each one of us. I want to make sure if there are any questions that come from what I share or that you'd like to ask me from my 25 years experience as an entrepreneur, then I'd be more than happy to share my experience. And Asentiv and the community is something very close to my heart that has been very much a part of the success that I have experienced. So I'm sure that'll also come up,
Gautam, just a second. There's some background sound, Raji. Could
Let
you
me just check.
check?
Let me check at my 1 second.
Okay, he's coming in just 2 minutes.
Thank you for your patience. Is that much better now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So let me share my screen, and that was something I want to make sure I share. Second. Excellent. So the first slide is a word named why, which I'm sure many of you would have heard. One of the most famous books around this topic is Simon Sinek's Start With Why. It's obviously a very core part of the Asentiv learning. I was a part of Asentiv community here in Dubai for many years, a part of the community here when I lived in Dubai, and also went through the Certified Networker Certified Networker course 3 times actually. You learn, you relearn, you apply, you relearn, and you reapply. So having been through that, I've got to be grateful first and foremost to Phil Bedford, who many of you would know. He's the Bharat Jitani of the Gulf. But thanks to him, he really dug deep and asked me several questions that uncovered that story, that an experience I went through as a 13-year-old. I was born and brought up in London. And as you know, in schools in the UK, predominantly, you are surrounded by a lot of British children. And I was bullied. I was teased. I was humiliated. I was made fun of. My self-esteem was at its all-time low. I had very little confidence. and very few friends. It appeared to others that I was an introvert. And I went through that very difficult time. Nothing made any sense. And I went to my dad and I said, Papa, nothing makes any sense. I have no clarity. I don't understand the purpose of life. My grades are very poor. Nothing makes any sense. Please help me. He said, I'm going to give you 3 pieces of advice. And this will not only help you today, it will help you for the rest of your life. And before I give you those 3 pieces of advice, let me tell you one thing, that there are 2 things that are constant in life, both personally and professionally. That is change and challenge. Change and challenges are a constant part of our lives, and they will be there for the rest of our lives. So firstly, accept that. Now, when it comes to challenges, the 3 pieces of advice, if you apply these 3 pieces of advice, you have my personal assurance, my guarantee that not only this difficult bullying experience you're experiencing now, but every challenge you go through in life, you will be able to succeed and thrive. And that's the opportunity that COVID has presented to us. It is something that, yes, it's unprecedented. It's never happened before. It can't be compared to anything. The magnitude of it has shaken the whole world, not only India. It's people's businesses are at stake. People's jobs are at stake. We're going through one of the biggest tests that we'll ever go through in our lives. And these 3 pieces of advice stand good till today. And I can speak from experience. The last 7 months, I can say that have been the most enterprising months of my life. I've worked harder than I've ever worked and earned a lot less. But having said that, I have a deep sense of gratitude because I've applied these 3 principles. First, surround yourself with the right people. Surround yourself with like-minded, like-hearted people, people who encourage you, uplift you, inspire you, whether that's through audios, that's through videos, whether that's family members, whether that's over the phone, whether that's in writing, whether that's social media. Spend time with people who uplift you, encourage you, inspire you, and make you feel good about yourself. That's number 1. Secondly, continuously learn. Learn from books, learn from videos, learn from podcasts, learn from people, learn from movies that you watch, learn each and every day. And yes, third and most importantly is take action, take massive action. Only when you take action each and every day can you bring new value into your life. Some things will work, some things won't. But either way, you will continuously learn and you'll improvise and you'll progress. It's only when we learn and take action can we progress. So that is sort of the abridged version of my why, which I wanted to share with each and every one of you right up front, because I think it's something, if you don't know your why you get out of bed every day, why you go to work, why you do what you do, that's something which is absolutely critical, and today more so than ever before. So for those who don't know, we are a father and son family business. It's been over 25 years. October 13th, 1993 in Dubai is when we launched our company, RightSelection. That's my dad, Ram Ganglani, in the picture. We play to each other's strengths. I'm abundantly grateful to the powers above. He's not only a personal friend, my dad, my role model, my spiritual guide, my coach. So he has been with me through thick and thin. He's now currently located in Bangalore, and I'm currently in Dubai, but obviously relocated now to Bombay. So he started the business in 93 as a business bookstore, and we've now taken it to public seminars, bringing to international authors and speakers. So this is a brief about our journey. We create high-value learning experiences with corporate clients, conference organizers, and public seminar organizers, providing keynote speakers, international thought leaders, and corporate trainers. In India, we have a business partnership with Great Place to Work. They are our business partners, Great Place to Work and GMI, Great Manager Institute. Great Place to Work is a global company that ranks the top 100 companies in the world. I share this not only part of my introduction, but all of these relationships have come from the philosophy of breaking bread, which I will share with you today. So these are some of the speakers we work very closely. I can say I have broken bread with each and every one of these speakers you see. Every single one of them has been to my home in Dubai, and some of them even to my home in Bombay. And breaking bread has been an omnipresent part of our business. With each and every speaker, we have a home cooked meal with every one of them, for which I'm very grateful. And it's just a part of the philosophy and culture of our business. So I'll take a pause before I move to the next slide. I would like to hear from some of you actually, and feel free to just turn off your mic and say something. What is breaking bread? From what you understand, what do you know? What does breaking bread mean?
Is it getting to know them, or getting to know people, or meeting them on a personal level that you break bread or eat with them as well?
Great, that's a good suggestion. That's definitely one of them. Anyone else?
Or to add on to what Raji said, you wouldn't have a meal with an enemy.
Yeah.
Enemy, of course, I mean in a different way. So
Sure.
when you break bread with someone, it's like a mutual honor that you are bonding with that person.
Fantastic, yeah.
For me, it would be getting to know the person more, deeper connections, making deeper connections.
Yes, excellent.
Over a cup of coffee, or over meals, or anything of that sort.
Fantastic. Anyone else? One last one before we move on.
Sharing and empowering, I feel it's like sharing one's meal. Like
sharing a meal. You hit sharing a meal, empowering, I heard, or something? Great. Well, breaking bread is a positive energy exchange between two or more people. And what I'm going to share with you, the traditional version of breaking bread started off in the UK. And to me, breaking bread is when two or more people, have a meal together, be it breakfast, be it lunch, be it dinner. That is the traditional version of breaking bread. It's when you have a meal with another person. To me, the foundation of my learning of this philosophy of breaking bread is that when people say that families that eat together stay together. In the Indian culture and the Gulf culture, two most important aspects are family and food. And to me, that's one of our unique sort of cultural benefits, because when we do business globally and we consider our customers as extended family to some extent and have meals with them, be it breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a coffee, that's where what gets developed, and that's where breaking bread has expanded into. So in the short time we have today, I'm going to cover 5 aspects, because breaking bread traditionally, yes, I've written business breakfast, that's breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's what most people know. I'll expand that to, boosting meaningful relationships. Number 3 would be, how do you bring tangible value? 4, build strategic partnerships. And last but not least is building value online. So these are the 5 topics I'll cover in brief, and then obviously open to the Q&A. So as it says, breaking bread is all about human connections. It's all about connection between one person and another. So business breakfast, and I'll give examples of my business, and then obviously I ask each of you to press pause and think about it and say, okay, based on what Gautam is sharing about what I know of his business, how can I apply that to mine? So for us, I look for opportunities to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a coffee. In fact, many of the meetings I will always facilitate during a lunch break or during tea time, and have a tea or coffee with that specific person, because it's a genuine energy exchange between one person and another. It breaks down barriers, as what I've written there. It's like the best example I can give you is that I've hosted over 100 dinners, thanks to my wife, in Dubai, be it in India as well, where we invite our customers with their spouses to our homes. Now, your home is the most personal space in your life. It is the space where you spend with your family. We spend more than half our times, our night sleep, our weekends, your children. Your home is the most personal space. when you invite a customer, now you may not be able to do this literally. I'm grateful that I've been able to do that and have the support of my wife, Pana, in that experience. But we've hosted over 100 dinners at home. Now they come into your home. That's already barrier number one. Then you've had a home cooked meal. You've then broken cultures. I mean, even within India, whether it's Sindhi food, Gujarati food, Punjabi food, but when I have foreigners come over and they have a home cooked meal, I mean, they like this is like where we feel like family, and they've just met you. So it's a priceless experience to have a meal with someone. And I'll give you another quick example. Whenever I travel for work, obviously that's not happened this year, but I'll give an example. I went to Jordan. The client, I'm meeting there, he said, oh, let me take you to some fine dining restaurant. And I said, no, I'd like to eat your local food. He said, are you sure? I said, I want to eat local food, street food. What's your local street food? And he took me there. We had a meal. I ate the food with my hands in the cultural food that they have. At the end of that, that customer and that partner has done business for me till today. And he said that first meal, that first visit was, I can never forget. I was all set to impress you and take you to some high-end restaurant. You insisted to eat my local food. I felt like you were one of me. You came and fitted into my culture. You made me feel comfortable, with you. I felt if I'm going to do business, all things being equal, I want to be comfortable and trust that person. That's one great example. The same one, just a quick another example is Ashish Vidyarthi. We represent him. He's a dear friend of mine. Some of you know him from Bollywood, otherwise from speaking. He came to Dubai. I was also taking him out to a restaurant. He said, no, let's have street food together. My wife joined me. Till today, that one meal, the conversations we had at the end of that meal, we knew about each other's families. We knew about each other. And so these are just quick examples that I wanted to share with you on the importance of capitalizing, having a breakfast, lunch, or dinner with those who are important to you. And that even starts with team members. That can be customers, it can be suppliers. Yeah, talking about these three words this year, people talk, how do you build your immunity, your health? This is one of my favorite quotes, is that breaking bread builds your immunity, health, and resilience, because I certainly say you feel good. If you feel good, you feel positive, you feel stronger. So I definitely resonate with this quote that I had shared. So number two is how do you build meaningful relationships can help, how they help us. So the other thing is I look for an energy exchange is a meal. That's one. The other one is when there are special occasions, be it birthdays, anniversaries, an awards function. I look for understanding our customer's favorite author or book. And I send them signed copies of books to them with a personal note. I send postcards. And you might say postcards, but it stands out because today, how many people just get a forward on a WhatsApp? Happy birthday. How many people get a wish on Facebook? Happy birthday. Now, even if you're going to wish on Facebook, I write a sentence with it. If I don't send a WhatsApp message, I send a WhatsApp audio message. I'll send a WhatsApp video message, a WhatsApp video, a WhatsApp audio, a postcard, a letter, a detailed message on Facebook beyond just happy birthday. That's the form of breaking bread. That's beyond a transactional just I've done it, like. Put some emotion into the exchange between you and the people that matter to you in your life. And that's what I'm saying here is boost your relationships, make them meaningful by adding meaning in the exchange when you wish them. So this is what I mean in this example. Breaking bread is all about connecting personally with authenticity. That's exactly it. It's not about connecting as a transaction. It's about collaboration. It's about abundance. It's about a personal touch to every communication. This is bring tangible value. Solve problems, understand your challenge by your customers. Sometimes I can't solve every customer's needs, but do you just say no, or do you then try and help your customers or your team members? Are you helpful beyond just yourself? And that's what, be a solution provider. Refer others, help others. Just being helpful, kind, generous in that sense, in every essence, beyond just worried about what's in it for me. If it's only about what's in it for me, that's not long lasting. That's not a form of breaking bread. It's about what difference can you make to all those around you. It's sort of like what I touched upon earlier when they said about business being a lifestyle. It's not just about what money you'll make, what business you'll make. It's about How much value can you create in the ecosystem that you're involved in, you know? Yeah, this is another quote, but to me, gratitude and appreciation every day is an integral part of breaking bread. I mean, Marshall Goldsmith says thank you conservatively 20, 30 times a day, maybe more. He even says thank you when we have problems or challenges to solve. By saying thank you, he says, okay, now that's a form of acceptance as well in a difficult situation. But thanking someone else, thanking everybody from who helps you is really, really an important part, because it's again an energy exchange between you and another person and sharing your appreciation each and every day. Number 4, build strategic partnerships. And this again, for us, we have service providers, we have media, we have influencers. To me, you need to build strategic partnerships with 2 or more people. In every area of business, I mean, there's something called in marketing called host beneficiary. And this is what host beneficiary means. It means to work with someone who you can collaborate with, who's not a competitor, but has the same target audience as yours. You may have heard this in other terms, but basically for me, I work with SHRM, I work with People Matters, I work with NASCOM, I work with NHRD. How can I work with all of these people? They're in the same industry, but they have the same target audience, but we're not competitors. So build strategic partnerships in your business, and even now more than ever before. Today, my dad's favorite quote he taught me as a kid, he said, in life, we must divide to multiply. I'll repeat that again. It's this important, so simple, but yet so profound. We must divide to multiply. Each of you want to grow your businesses. How about sharing? How about collaborating? How about partnering? How much can you do alone? You need a team. Together, everyone achieves more. You need a team. You need service providers. You need partners. So I can only encourage you, build strategic partnerships and break bread by helping other people grow. The last topic is about branding yourself online. To be honest, this topic, I will elaborate slightly differently on it, is that in the last chapter of my book, we talk about breaking bread online. Everyone knows about breaking bread in the traditional way, as I said, about face-to-face interaction. Now, in a world when a lot of us working from home, we have a hybrid model, we need to learn how to break bread online. And first and foremost, yes, have a personal brand of yourself, but what value can you create online? Are you sharing podcasts? Are you sharing articles? Are you sharing blogs? Are you sharing interviews? Create valuable content that helps others, that inspires, that is engaging, that is educational. Now, when you do that, that's also a form of breaking bread, because you're having an energy exchange between content. Are you liking other posts, or are you liking and commenting on other posts? Are you encouraging others? Are you sharing their posts, or are you just checking your own posts and seeing who's liked my post? Are you posting and waiting for your likes? Have you liked other people's posts? Have you Givers Gain we're familiar with from BNI? So I like other people's posts. I comment on other people's posts. Yes, I may do it strategically, but yes, that's what it's all about. Break bread strategically by building meaningful relationships online. That's also a form of breaking bread. Even Zoom calls here, none of you may have heard of me or know me, but from what I've shared today, you've got to know me a little better. To some extent, we've broken bread on this very call. Some of you may connect with me on LinkedIn. Some of you may buy my book. Some of you may set up a one-to-one Zoom call with me. But this is a journey of breaking bread online. So don't feel that, oh, we can't meet as many people because of COVID, or we can't do this. That stops you from breaking bread. No, you got to think out of the box. Breaking bread is about adding value, building meaningful relations, and making a difference. Breaking bread helps build global cultural relationships. I mean, I can humbly but proudly say that, I would say I'm 3 degrees, if not 2 degrees from anyone in the world. I feel when you traveled well, you had broken bread with many people across the world. I was born in London, lived there 20 years, lived in Dubai 20 years, now live in India, in Mumbai. And I've touched with travel a lot of parts of the world that I'm connecting people in Australia to one another. I've not even been to Australia. That was just last week. And I'm like, oh my God. And it's because I just love what I do. It happens seamlessly. My cousin from Australia said, Gautam, I'm living here since 12 years and you're introducing me to someone I've been trying to connect with for the last 2 years. How do you do it? I said, I have an emotional bank account. My dad always said the most important bank account in your life is an emotional bank account, your relationship capital, because money may come and go in life, but an emotional bank account is priceless. You know, I build so much value with the people I connect with that I feel very comfortable to ask for something when I need it because I've given so much happily, graciously, with love, with abundance. Some of you may know my dear friend, my longest standing friend in the speaking industry is Ron Kaufman. He's the legend of customer service. And he says, Gautam is fantastic at building high value, long-term partnerships around the table and around the world. Very grateful to have received that quote from him recently when I wrote my book. As I said, breaking bread works in person and virtually. So no excuses. I've heard people say it's only in person. So there's no excuses because I've had Zoom calls and generated business without having met people this year, which all comes from breaking bread. This is just, I guess this actually slide could have come a lot earlier, but as it's a fun one, I'll just share it. Just as an icebreaker, what is Oprah Winfrey, President Modi, Richard Branson, and I think there's the Prime Minister of Singapore, if I'm not mistaken. What do they have in common? Whoops, what do they have in common? Let's have some.
I think they're all visionaries.
Raji says they're all visionaries. Fantastic. Any other suggestions? Anything common about these four people?
They have good media presence, I feel.
They have good media presence, Ranjana. That's a great answer. One more suggestion.
They want to be among people.
Bharat says they want to be amongst people. All of your answers are absolutely right. But the answer I was looking for is none of them have had the pleasure of meeting me. My name is Gautam Ganglani, and it's been an absolute pleasure being with you here this evening. Yeah. So are you ready to break bread and with your customers? That's the question I leave with you as we wrap up today. And then I think we move to, yes, you're welcome to visit my website, gautamganglani.com, and get a preview to my book if you'd like. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're comfortable with. It'd be my pleasure to stay connected with each of you. And I guess this leaves me to say I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you once again for the opportunity to share a part of my journey story and hopefully inspire you to break bread each and every day for the rest of your life, multiple ways, both online and offline. Over to you. Thank you.
Thanks a ton, Gautam. It was a real pleasure to have you in the room today and, make us think on simple things of how to connect to people, how to, like you said, do the first call, the first talk, or, just meet them over coffee, tea. Many a times we shy from meeting people in person over food. We feel it all has to be very transactional and very business. I think that's been an aha moment for me today.
Thank
So
you.
I'm really
Thank you,
grateful
Raji.
for this input. So yeah,
Absolute pleasure.
forum is open for questions if anybody has any more questions. And Bharat has put the link in the chat for you to order the book.
Yeah, if you want to really order the book, I have one book signed by Gautam itself. So if you want to order the book, it's a great book. You can just order it.
Thank you, Bharat, and I'll be happy to send signed copies through that link for anyone who does order. It'll be my pleasure. Thank you.
Great. That'll be great.
Any questions from what I've shared today?
I have
questions, but I'm really, it was so quick, so short, and so insightful. We always have been hearing that all your answers should be short and sweet throughout our school days. But I think this is the very sweet and very short way of putting how we should get across, break bread, and come to, be in harmony with your customers and your whatever relationship. Very good, very nice.
Thank you, Atul. Really appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
So thank you, Gautam. Thank you for your insightful view on things. I would just want to ask you if you can elaborate on the deposits in the emotional bank account. I would love to know something on that. Like, how do you increase the deposits which you can at times or in future you can encash as you encash at a particular level? So I want to know how we can deposit into these emotional bank accounts in some ways.
Thanks, Jay Kishan. Great question. To me, first and foremost, you need patience. You need patience. You need a lot of P's actually. Patience, perseverance, positivity, passion. I think there's one more P. It'll come to me. I should write a blog on this, call it the 5 P's. But see, just with anything in life, I would probably think the best way to explain it is really like a plant. You need to seed, you need to have the foundation, you have the soil, you have the seeds, you need to nurture it with water, and the seed grows over time. The same thing with the bank account. You put incremental amounts, slow and steady, and it grows. So when it comes to this in the real world, in the context of what you're asking, is that, first and foremost, I would say understand your target audience. You may have heard this before, and I'm just reverse engineering how we need to do this. So first and foremost, choose the right people that you need to spend time with. Now, let's say customers. Who's your dream client? Okay, that is describe your dream client with 100% clarity. Understand the industry, the age, the profile, their habits, etc. Let's assume you narrowed it down and name 20 people. Let's say, oh my God, these would be my dream 20 clients. 3 of them I'm working with, the others I don't know them or whatever. Then follow them on LinkedIn. Start step number 1, find a way connecting with them. Then I'm just using LinkedIn as an example. Then on LinkedIn, you will like their posts, and where relevant and appropriate, comment on their post, share your appreciation for the knowledge they're sharing, engage with them in a question, and do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And then you'll get replies from them. You may send a personal message. I'm giving this as an example. And I got a great example on this very recently. I couldn't get someone on the phone who I wanted to connect with. I followed her on LinkedIn, CHRO of a major company in India, followed her on LinkedIn, commented once, commented twice. Every time she liked my comments as they would like. Then she saw, my God, this guy's name is appearing regularly. 3rd time I commented, she started replying me and replying. And the 7th, after a month it was, because she was fortunately an active LinkedIn user. After a month, I sent her a email saying it's been an absolute pleasure exchanging, whatever on LinkedIn. I really appreciate your contribution. Can I request you for a Zoom call? That led to a Zoom call, which led to a proposal, which has now led to a contract. That's happened in COVID times. That's one example. And you can just replicate what I've shared with you in all areas. But in short, what did I do? I first have to understand who I want to spend time with. That's most important. And I don't want to take away from that, because we can spend time. We can be busy being busy all day long. We have enough to distract us at home, at office, in our lives. But when it comes to this area of your business, then understand who you want to spend time with. Because even LinkedIn done well doesn't require 30 minutes, if not an hour a day. That's a lot to invest. But if you're investing it in something which is very focused and targeted and then nurtured, then slowly but surely you'll build an emotional bank account. Now I know this lady's birthday. I know her anniversary. So I'm sure flowers will turn up on her anniversary. I found out her favorite book, a favorite author. I'm sure when that author writes a book, I'll send a copy to her. Those are examples that I'll continuously do at all times in any way. Keep following. They will share, all the clues will be on their LinkedIn profile. When's their work anniversary? When's their birthday perhaps? What awards they're doing, where the company's struggling, progressing. She's sharing her knowledge online. You're praising her authentically, not just thanks for sharing. And that's it. I hope that gives you some clarity, Jay Kishan.
Jay Kishan.
Yeah. Yes, he put a thumbs up. He said he's speechless. It's so good. His answer is, where do I sign, Gautam? My team actually have they made this cake for me some time back. It's actually lots of cupcakes, and they found out all these famous words that Gautam uses. And one of them, they call me yes or yes, because whenever they get a no from a customer or a challenging customer, said, send the customer to Gautam. He knows how to turn a no into a yes. And it's about asking the right question, because first you break bread that you're able to understand the customer is not actually saying no to you or to what you're offering. They're saying you've not understood what their actual need is. They may need a payment plan. They may need a discount. They may need some other service. You may be talking only about what you want to sell or what you're offering. So you've not built an authentic thing. So I've turned around a no into a yes by breaking bread. So they always say Gautam is yes or yes. So whenever anyone says to me, I said, it'll be yes happily or yes very happily. Which one do you choose? I'm going to make it very simple. No procrastination, waste of time of no, yes, or maybe. But anyway, that was just something that triggered from that last conversation. Any other questions? Any other thoughts?
Gautam, generally, what is your opening line when you go and meet somebody new?
When I go meet someone new, I will ask them about anything excluding business. Nothing about business. I may ask him, how are you? How's your family? Basically, yeah, how are you? How's the family? What are you reading? Any current books? What's your favorite book? I'll skirt around all the subjects to get to know them without being too personal, but just around general subjects. Where they live, what's favorite. I mean, anything general, anything you'd ask a friend to some extent. And the moment you're doing that, there's a part of their inner emotion that suddenly they drop their guard, right? Because just visualize whether the customer has it or not. When you meet them, their hands are like this, whether it's their hands are crossed, whether it's visible or it's invisible. Even if their hands are open, assume the guard is up and they're like, this person is coming to sell me something. This person is going to, and you are actually start with something the exact opposite. That is step number one. Make them feel comfortable. And you want to build professional friendships, right? It's not about transactions and buying and selling and making money. I mean, that's important, but that's not, we spend 70% of our lives at work. Let's enjoy the process. 70% of our lives are at work, excluding sleep, maybe a higher percentage, but let's enjoy that journey. Even the customer has that journey. I mean, he wants to do business with people he's comfortable with. He trusts, as we already know. I mean, yes, to be in business, you need to provide a good quality product. If someone asks me, Gautam, what's your USP? I have the best product. I mean, if you don't have a great product, you can't be in business very long. Someone said, oh, I have the best price. Well, if you don't have the right price, you're not going to be in business very long. It's the right price for the customer and for you to make money. So what is the USP? The USP is the relationship. Because all things being equal, the business will go where the customer feels comfortable. Yes, you could be 10% higher on price. You're not going to lose a deal because you're 10% higher. Because I know people who are more expensive and they're doing more business than myself. A quick example is on Marshall Goldsmith. He's my most expensive speaker. He gives away all his information for free. He says, copy my slides, download my slides, record my videos, take everything. And yet he's the most booked speaker. All my other speakers are saying, Gautam, make sure that flash drive, don't share the document, don't give it to anybody, make sure that flash drive comes back to me. It comes from a space of scarcity. Marshall Goldsmith gives everything away, and yet he's the most booked speaker and highest paid speaker. What does that tell you about it? The guy breaks bread day in, day out. The guy works hard and parties harder, even at age 73. The guy, he follows that fish philosophy. Work made fun gets done. I know sometimes you might say, is that really? It is. I can speak from personal experience. That's where I am. I have never hired one salesperson in my business in 27 years. I haven't had a single person who's picked up the phone and done a cold call, ever. And now I can say, yes, that's the reality of how we have built our business over 27 years.
Excellent. Very insightful. Thanks, Gautam.
No, my pleasures. Rinki, Manisha, Rima, Rasika, anyone whose voice I've not had the pleasure of hearing. I'd like any question from you. Another way on the phone, I just made this, sorry, I have to say this quick one-liner because it came to my mind, is that when I pick up the phone, people say, people have heard, in BNI, they say, it's fantastic since I've joined BNI. You may have heard that phrase people say, which is a way of saying, oh, what's BNI? But when I pick up the phone and say, you may say Rima, or let's say someone calls me and says, Gautam, how are you? I said, fantastic now that I've heard your voice. It's unbelievable. It's an icebreaker, but it's just those kind of quirky, fun icebreakers. And as long as it's good fun. It's amazing how suddenly they burst into a laughter or a lighthearted thing. You just lighten the mood with whatever. Everyone's got pressure. Everyone has stress. Everyone has challenges. Don't think yours are more or mine are less. Everyone has challenges at their level. So lighten the mood. That's also a form of breaking. Just lighten the mood, remove the stress, create a bit of laughter, smile, be warm, be affectionate. It's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. Sorry, I interrupted a question. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Gautam. This is Rasika here.
Good evening,
Can you
Rasika.
hear me?
Pleasure to hear. Hear your voice.
Yes, same here. It's been amazing session. I happened to join on time. I'm out and I could not attend with the video calling. However, I want to tell you something. I have attended your session, which you used to conduct during the lockdown. And I was in awe at that time and I'm on this time. And something, somehow we did not connect. Surely it's going to be a pleasure connecting with you in the near future. Immediately we'll connect with you. I shall connect with you. It's something you mentioned about the energy exchange between the people, right? When you're breaking bread.
Yes.
That is something which I have come across as absolutely fundamental. Because we meet people, if we are not connected energetically, the relationship doesn't go forward. It's probably only the first and the last time, but if you connect at a level which is more deeper and at an energetic level, it goes like you finding that this is a very, very beautiful concept which you explained in a very short way. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Rasika. Thanks for your acknowledgement and appreciation. Thank you.
And Rasika has also shifted from Dubai to Bombay, Gautam.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
He was in Dubai. She
relocated after 15 years.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So.
I would like to add here that Bharat has already been busy last fortnight putting my head in a spin, and now my head is spinning even faster listening to you. So it's going to take me some time to absorb everything. My world has suddenly turned topsy-turvy. But thank you. Thank you.
That's my pleasure. I'll say that's a good problem, Sony.
Yeah.
And whenever the dizziness stops, feel free. You can reach out to Bharat and myself at any time. If you have any way we could add value, any question you have, any clarity at any time, it'll be our pleasure.
I'm quite overwhelmed with gratitude lately, so I'm going to just let it sink in for some time.
Sure.
So a lot of time I send links on the group for Marshall Goldsmith and Jack Canfield sessions. Gautam is a person who sends a link. So Gautam is the person who hosts us and gives a special offer for Asentiv members not to pay and be a part of the journey. Yeah.
Great.
Sorry, Gautam,
on the topic of energy earlier, in fact, which the previous, I think Rasika had mentioned. I mean, so my designation when Raji had kindly even introduced me is CEO. So to me, I'm a big believer in acronyms. I love acronyms. And so when I was, let's say, MD and my dad was the CEO, he said, no, now I'd like to step back and just be not operation of the business. And he said, I'm going to position myself as chairman and you can be CEO. I said, I'm not attached to any designations. I am who I am. But if we're going to be playful with it, I'm willing to change from director to CEO. And that's how I came up. I said, Chief Energizing Officer, because for me, energy is everything. Energy in my team, energy in our sales, energy in business. Energy is everything. And that's how the Chief Energizing Officer designation was created about a year or so back. And then it's on all my collateral. And when people ask me, how do you come up with that? Or why is that important? To me, everything's about energy. It's all about energy. You can walk into a room and see someone and you may not even know that person and you feel comfortable with them. That's energy. Or vice versa, walk in a room, someone's done nothing wrong and you feel uncomfortable. That's energy. To me, people say, Gautam, what convinces, or convincing is not a good word in my opinion. Let's say what engages a prospect in a potential sale. It's energy. People buy energy. I mean, people buy energy, they buy passion, they feel the authenticity through the energy. Me speaking today, I could have just said, Hi, good morning. My name's Gautam, and it's a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you, Bharat, for this time. And you'll be like, oh my God, you might have started disconnecting before I finished my introduction. But I spoke with my heart and soul. And when you've asked me questions, I've shared with all transparency from my experience at a tone and an energy that comes out that you're like, this guy's likable, he's nice, he seems just like one of us, he's someone I'd like to stay in touch with. That's enough. Whether we do business or not, I should leave a positive impression with every person I interact with, because we're professional friends. We may do business, we may not. You'll be happy to refer me if someone asks you for a speaker or someone says, I'm looking for a new book. You'll be comfortable because you connected to me through this call. That's breaking bread. That's the energy you're looking to create with every phone call, with every message. In simple terms, I really want to say, and really one thing is, every form of communication, in writing, on or over the voice, in person, every communication is an opportunity to break bread, is to exchange energy and emotion in every form. I can tell you, I've never written an email of, I get emails from someone writing, thank you, great, or two-liners. I said, no, I mean, I write, it was a delightful pleasure meeting with you. And I'm like, just putting in adjectives even in your emails, it was like, I never write just warm regards or yours sincerely or the typical words. Use some emotion in the words that you exchange with one another. That people feel those emotions, they feel the energy. Yes, Mr. Santosh, how are you?
Santosh, Revant, Nimesh, be open.
Hi, Gautam. I mean, I always follow you as well on LinkedIn and places, but one thing I must appreciate on is the wonderful, the way you keep yourself, the haircut to the suits and the shirt right now. So it's just
You're very kind, Rowan. Thank you.
Yes, and it's lovely to know you personally today and all about your book. And I always thought you were living in the UK, but now I know you're in Dubai and Mumbai as well. So it's great. We are mostly from Mumbai, so we should connect sometime personally.
It'll be a pleasure. My friends informally, on a light-hearted way, would say, Gautam, you're a coconut. And the coconut is, I'm brown on the outside, but I'm white on the inside. And I say that in a light-hearted way because I was born and brought up in London, so I can have my English accent changes. That's another form of my accent changes. If I'm with my English friends, suddenly my accent changes to their comfort. But I think that's one of the unique things about being in India and the Gulf is that you've got things about time and a lot of disciplines of the English culture, but yet you're Indian at heart. And being able to blend both of those is also something I'm very grateful for. But anyway, thanks a lot for sharing your appreciation. Thank you.
You've heard of the lemon as well, right? Like the coconut you have, is the Chinese are called the yellow skin outside and white inside. So these are the acronyms we use with our kids as well, coconuts.
Great.
Yeah, I can resonate with that.
Nimesh Bhai, you want to ask anything? Nimesh Bhai?
Hello, Gautam.
Hello, Nimish. A pleasure to speak with you.
Right. A pleasure of mine also. The biggest takeaway from your session was take massive action. And that what coming in my mind. That, yes. So whatever efforts we have to put it is, it's not a massive actions. And I need to work on it. But your session was fantastic. Thank you. It's inspired me a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Nimish. I really appreciate that. When anyone mentions about the importance of action, the words or the quote that comes to my mind, and some of you may have heard it, and some of it may be no. To know and not to do is not yet to know. You know? I'll repeat that one more time. To know and not to do is not yet to know. You know. The reality is you may read books, you may attend events, you may attend Zoom calls, attend Zoom meetings. But if you're not taking action in your life, with all due respect to each one of you, you're wasting your time. You're just being inspired and feeling good. What new value are you creating for yourself, your family, your team, your company? we need to apply what we learn. Without apply, it's my motto for this year. Every January 1st, I come up with a message for myself, like a mantra. And I'm so grateful. This year's mantra, it's as if it was a foresight for what we've all gone through. But my mantra for 2020 was less is more. And I write less in small and then is and then MORE in caps, like less is more. And I started, there's a friend of mine who's a decluttering coach, and he helped me declutter my wardrobe in January. Little did I know I'll be not being needing that wardrobe or not have access to anything new from March till August, but you live even more simply and you realize in every area of our life, we have too much clutter, be it at home, be it in your wardrobe, be it in your computer, be it in your mobile phone with pictures. We store so much, and not to take away from what you shared, but it's like we need the space in our lives to be able to think clearly and be able to take action as well. And I just share that because less is more is like, I would rather hear you read only 5 books in your life and you're applying everything in those 5 books. Someone's told me I read 43 books. I said, what's in 5? I said, what have you applied? He went blank. He's like, applied? He said, but I felt good about every book I've read, and these are my favorite ones. And I asked him, what did you apply? And he went blank. He couldn't even list. He went, like, I threw him off. I said, you read 43 books. They made you feel good. These are your favorite ones. I'm asking you, give me 1 or 2 things you've applied. He went blank. I'd rather hear someone said, I've only read 5 books in my life. I've applied these 5 books, and this is how my life has transformed. I'm healthier, I'm wealthier, I'm wiser. I've attended 100 events. 100 events. Who's telling you to attend 100 events? How about applying what you're learning first? You're going there not just to feel good. You're not going for a music concert to say, let me go and be entertained and feel good about myself. That's okay. Go to 100 concerts because you're looking for a break from your work to listen to your favorite singer and feel good and be out with your friends. But even if it's edutainment at its best, we need to apply what we're doing. So actions speak louder than words is what we've heard. Thanks, Nimish, for prompting me to share that piece of insight. To know and not to do is not yet to know, you know.
So in case
Yeah.
none of us have any questions, should we go to a small, brief member introduction now that Gautam is here? I guess, Gautam, we know you, but we would like to introduce ourselves too to you.
No,
So
please go ahead.
Yes. Should we start with visitors, please? Nimesh bhai, do you want to start?
Okay. My name is...
I'll just, yes, sorry, just to interrupt. Quick introduction because we're running out of time. Just name, profession, 1 word which describes you.
Okay. My name is Nimish, and we manufacture textile and clothing and export. Thank you.
Jai Kishan.
Hello everyone, I am Jai Kishan Rukraj, a business analyst. 1 word describes me is curiosity.
Rinki.
Hi, I'm Rinki Agarwal. I'm a teenager buddy, and 1 word describes me is patience.
Santosh.
Yes, I'm Santosh Mahabdi, impersonal consultant. That's it.
Reema.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm a certified financial planner. I secure lives, and 1 word that describes me is details.
Revant.
I got the opportunity, so I'll just take a little longer than others. So I'm Revant Datta, Principal Interior Designer at Sarla Associate in Mumbai. We are in business of creating value for our clients and converting reality into reality. We believe every great design starts with even better story. So I'm a great listener. Gautam, love to converse with you soon.
Rasika.
Hello, this is Rasika Palekar. I'm a gift curator and my brand is Upahar. I empower artisans of India. My 1 word that describes me is I'm an appreciator. Thank you.
Ranjana.
Hello everyone, I'm Ranjana. I'm into corporate filmmaking. I help corporates, business owners to build their videos to market it. And 1 word that describes me, I would say I'm fun loving, but I'm a calm, fun loving person.
Manisha?
Good evening, everyone. Manisha Bhise here. I'm a storyteller, and one word that describes me is enthusiast. I'm an enthusiastic person.
Very good. Priya?
Hi everyone. Gautam, I don't know if you remember, I've even attended another talk. But anyways, I'm a photography-based artist, and I would just like to I'm into covenant art, which is about telling people's inspiring stories translated into a photography collage artwork. So I learned something in one of my interactions with an actress based on what you said about taking action. I would like to take it further and just add that with taking action, we should also not build up our expectations, and that is also a great way to go. Thank you. And
Nice
one
one.
thing that describes me is passionate.
Sony? You're
Yep,
muted, Sony.
So I design English language courses for various training requirements. And I'm also a voiceover artist, and I run a podcast, A World in a Word. And I'm very adventurous. And yeah, I'll stop there.
Yeah, thanks. Good evening, everybody. I'm Raji Aya. I'm passionate about connecting people to nature and roots. And we do it through landscape architecture and landscape products. The product that you see behind is Harita, a patented design. We retail from Singapore and India. I'm based out of Singapore. One word that describes me is connecting the dots. Bharat?
Great. So my name is Bharat Jetani, and I'm here because of all of you guys. I just connect you guys, and you all are my friends. So it's great to see everyone participating in the book club. And thank you, Gautam, for coming in and sharing what breaking bread means. It gives a greater clarity. You have been networking with biggies like Marshall Goldsmith, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, and Ron Kaufman. Believe me, Ron Kaufman is the wonderful person in service. And he's from Singapore, Raji. So
Wow.
he's in fact trained Changi Airport employees also. That's what I know. Uh, thank you, Gautam. I mean, to know from you, one point also can scale up our business much better. And breaking bread is what we believe in. Like Revant invites us for jalebi. I invite people for dal pakwan. You know, we keep on doing it. Yeah, but there is still a small gap. We don't invite to homes. We are going to do that because of COVID-19. But next year is going to be more of breaking bread at homes. Anyone wants to share aha moment, what you got it from Gautam today?
Bharat, one thing I just wanted to quickly, it's always been one thing. So related to Gautam, I know you've studied and been, brought up in the UK, but do you speak Hindi?
It's a great question. I speak Hindi, but I'm hesitant to say that because you might invite me to speak Hindi now, and then it'll be it might be a comedy. It'll move to a comedy, and edutainment is the evening time now, so it might be okay. But yeah, I understand Hindi fluently. I do speak as well, but I would call it English at best. You know.
Okay, great.
And next question.
Fortunately, living in Bombay, that's good. You know.
You should ask who speaks Hindi also.
Yeah,
So you can. My grandparents speak to me in Sindhi, and I will reply in Hindi.
Wow.
Because I understand it, but I won't speak fluently. But yeah.
Nice. Anyone wants to share a great moment? What you got in the session today? No? Nothing.
Okay, I was just waiting.
The emotional bank is the great word.
You could take one takeaway from each person. That's Jay Kishan. What's one takeaway from your side?
I think the quotes which you gave into the session were amazing.
Yes.
Like we need to divide. Yeah, we need to divide to multiply. That was amazing.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jay Kishan. Santosh, what's one takeaway you'd like to share?
The emotions with the food. Emotion with the food.
Emotion with the food.
Food, yeah. And that is a direct connect with the clients. That's a good idea. And the takeaway from you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Ranjana.
So the code that you read at the end, and that we had a little difficult time to understand that, but
To
yes,
know and not to do is not yet to know, you know.
right. So actually, I also struggle sometimes. I keep on thinking, कि मैं पढ़ती तो जा रही हूँ, okay, I have to come in English. So yeah, I keep on reading, but I'm not implementing. So rather, whatever I have read, let me implement it. Then I read, more. So yes, this happens that keep on reading stuff and we don't implement it in our life. So thank you for reminding that. That was actually very good.
My pleasure. On books, I'll just quickly share. I use a highlighter when I read my books, and I have a fixed habit of keeping a post-it sticker inside the book. And I say, I must write 3 actionable ideas from the book. So anytime I pick up a book that I've read in the past, I'm not a big reader. I may read only 5 to 10 books a year. But when I read a book, I glance back, see what I've highlighted, and I look at the yellow post-it sticker about whatever I applied. Because that's something that I can even say one idea, but I can thank that book that brought one new experience in my life. But thank you, Ranjana. Rinki.
Yeah, so the one thing which is having good emotional bank, I'm very much connected with that. And then further you explained on Jackie Chan's demand that how we can increase our emotional bank. Another thing, just now you said that reading a lot of books, but then you read maybe 1 or 2 books in a year and then have a sticky note that this much this is one concept which applied, and that for that we can be grateful to that book. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Priyal.
Really sorry, I joined a little late, but I really liked whatever, even if it was just 10 minutes, it was quite inspiring. And I've heard you before, and I've told you that it's great to hear your thoughts about things. I appreciate and understand the fact that it should be more quality and not quantity, which I absolutely believe in. So it's not about just ramming through books and going at it, but making the most of what you actually have, and completing that and then kind of moving forward. So that was nice to hear from you. Yeah.
Thank you, Priyal. Thank you. Sony.
One of the most interesting thing was, I would call it grandmother's wisdom, perhaps, is the 3 nuggets that your father gave you. And one would say that that's common sense, but common sense is not common, as we all know. And that has been a good revision for me, I think. We tolerate a lot more than we should. So that's my key takeaway today. One of the many, but this is what I retain.
Thank you, Sony. Thank you. Nimish.
Yeah, energy is everything, and we constantly exchange our energy with whom we interact. And what I feel that I need to see that energy is a positive. So I would like to be more conscious about that we are exchanging the energy, and energy should be a positive one. That's
Fantastic. Thank you, Nimish. Rasika.
Yeah, as I said, once again, energy. And the second thing is the food. We as a foodie, I think we bond more on the food. That's something. And the third one, which you mentioned last about the sticky notes, that is definitely I'm going to start doing that.
Excellent, so excellent. My pleasure. Thank you, Rasika. Revant?
Yeah, Gautam,
so, you did. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't. Yeah. So, I mean, one thing that caught my eye today was right behind that your background saying pursuing greatness. So, yeah, I just love that. Apart from everything the people and my friends here are saying is exactly what I mean to say. Divide, multiply, and everything is what I'm getting today.
Thank you, Revant. Manisha? Because the screen's moved around a few names. If I'm repeating, please forgive me. I don't think you've shared yet.
So no, yeah, I'm really sorry for not being on being on and off on video because but yeah, I think like everybody shared, there are a lot of takeaways, but breaking bread, the name itself, I think is the greatest takeaway for me, because how a simple meal or a sharing can be so enlightening was a good thing to do, which we normally do only with close families or something, but we never try to do it in a different way that you highlighted. So that was a great takeaway. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you. I appreciate that. Raji, I think I took away your role today, so my apologies as facilitator.
That's fine. You're doing a good job.
So I invite you as to share any. You've shared a lot today, but if there's one takeaway as I guess we wrap up.
Yeah, because I'm in a service sector just like you and constantly convincing clients to pay the fees I'm asking for. So I think one point that you mentioned really stuck to my head, that try to understand what the client wants and not sell what you want to sell. I think that's going to be a very conscious way of looking when I put in any fees or any proposal to them, and talking to them first and then putting in the fee proposal, or understanding them first and then putting the fee proposal, or convincing them the way they want to listen to, is something that I'm going to work on. And the energy thing was something I resonate. And you mentioned something that families eat together, stay together. That's something that I've grown up with. So that's just stuck to my head, and I constantly pull my entire family and insist we have dinner together. It never happens, but we're constantly trying to do that. But I think it's a really good idea to combine it with career as well. I mean, have food and business as a connection. So I think Breaking Bread was an excellent choice for a title of a book.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was just amazing, that grateful that it came up as that name. It just caught my attention and resonated with me. So I'm glad that worked out. In fact, just to elaborate a little bit on what you shared, but it triggered off the fact that when we attend events, we normally sit with people we know. We may have heard this. You may meet people you know, which is great. You want to stay in touch. But you go for a one-day event, obviously all being well, we get to meet in person in 2021 in a hotel. And when you attend an event, you have multiple opportunities to break bread. Who do you meet and speak to when you have your coffee? Who do you meet to and speak to in the break? Who do you sit to for lunch? Who do you sit to? So you have like 5 breaks in the day. Welcome break, on arrival, mid-morning break, lunch, afternoon break, and then maybe before leaving. There are 5 breaks to meet someone and have a cup of tea or lunch. What a lot of people do, and I'm speaking from experience of speaking to corporates, they're booked to go for an event. They go there, they eat their meal, sometimes alone or with only someone they know. They learn and they come back. They've missed out the greatest opportunity to break bread with new people. Yeah. It's not about only business. Make new professional friends. Meet someone who stays in other common interests. So sit with people in those breaks and have some conversations in those moments. It's a golden opportunity that many people miss out on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess everyone shared. We leave it to without this gentleman, none of us would be here today. None of us would have the pleasure of meeting on this platform. So I'll hand over back to the man himself, Mr. Bharat Jitani, the man, the myth, the legend of Asentiv India. My dear friend and brother Bharat, over to you.
I'm happy to be on backseat, and happy to see members are leading ahead now. Members are taking over the book club, because that's what I want to see. The book club meeting should be headed by members itself, and it should be driven by members itself. It's a not-for-profit, what we do in Asentiv Book Club, and see to it how authors also get respect and recognition, because they've put in a lot of time writing that book. And that book can give you a lot of learning, and in your business, you can use that learning a lot. So I will ask Gautam to
suggest the next focus book. Yes.
No, not focus book, aha moment or the session.
Okay.
What did he like in the community? In fact, these are bunch of 15-20 entrepreneurs who come without any time limitation. They say, we want to learn, we want to read book, we get inspired. So there are a lot of members in the community, but these are selected 15-20 people who come in every time. So just share, what did you like being in the community right now?
What I appreciate, thank you, Bharat. I really appreciate, to me, energy is infectious, and I was my natural self delivering with high energy because I love what I do and I believe in what I do, and I believe that I can provide value by sharing authentically my personal experiences. And I acknowledge and appreciate the aha for me is I saw facial expressions change during the session from when we started.
Yes.
There were a lot of people smiling, nodding, appreciating. And just as you appreciated what you learned today or you shared today, that to me is the best gift that I can ever experience. But also it is for each one of you, because you're reinforcing, when you share what you've experienced, you're reinforcing it from your subconscious to your conscious, and you're also triggering other things, because there were many points in today that I shared. So to me, the energy of the facial expressions and the sharing of each one's gratitude is what was my aha, and gratefulness to each one of you for that today. Thank you.
Great. And you can even suggest us future book to be reviewed, and if you have any author recommendation, you can do that also to us.
Gautam, we get only 2 weeks to read the book.
Okay, so the concept is that you're sorry, because I missed the full part of when you were, so that you read a book, and then the idea during the book club is you share.
It's from everywhere. And like if I read the book, I may have a different type of learning from the book, and I can share it. So everyone has got different perspective to read the book. And I may read 2 chapters, someone else will read the full book, but you get learning from each other. So half of the time we do the book review, and half of the time we give it to author to come and talk about it.
Yeah. So ideally, we should have invited everyone to have the pleasure of reading my book. It's a very easy read. But I mean, that's what I think about. If you're giving each other 2 weeks, and not everyone's as a voracious reader as each other. But I mean, have you all read The Fish Philosophy?
No.
I'd highly recommend that book. Okay. And it's a simple read. I mean, 2 weeks is ample time. It's a 30-minute book.
Yeah.
And to me, the subtitle of that is something I live by, which I mentioned earlier. It's work made fun gets done. When you love what you do, the work gets done. Problems, challenges, situations, we all have them in each of our professional or our business's career. But when you love what you do, you will focus on finding solutions. And so to me, that would be a simple, enjoyable, inspirational read, in addition to Breaking Bread, of course. But
anytime you think you have an author to nominate, let us know.
I come across many. In fact, one of the things with the publishing world that I'm sort of invested in a publishing house as well, out of Dubai and partly India. So we actually have 2 or 3 new authors every month who publish a book. So that's one way where we could invite, they're looking for and they're great. These are all inspirational books. Yes. So I'd be happy to, what I'll do is, as and when I come across any authors who I feel can add value to your platform, then I'll introduce them to you, Bharat and Raji, and then you all can, confirm, and then I'll let then take it forward. It'll be my pleasure. You do this, is this event once a week? Or is it
twice a month?
Twice a month, fair enough. So twice a month, fantastic. Rest assured, if there's any topics, maybe if you all have done an internal survey by chance, and you all have shared, okay, is there a particular burning pain, burning topic that you would like to have an author? Feel free to let me know. Say, Gautam, we did a quick survey amongst our members, and the topic that comes up is X. If you know anyone that you could recommend, feel free to reach out to me that way as well. But at the same time, as I come across different one, I think the decluttering friend of mine would be phenomenal. I'd love you to include him in January. His book's title is called Break Free. And he's a decluttering coach. I think there's this famous movie, not program. Is it Mary Konda? Some of you may have heard, where she declutters your house. It's a business.
Yeah, it's a program.
Program. But anyway, this guy, if you want to declutter, I can tell you that, to me, decluttering your life can give you the freedom you've been waiting for. Because the moment you have a lighter mind, we need time and space to think. We need time to be creative, to innovate. Innovation doesn't come like that. I mean, we've heard this from many people. Where do your best ideas come from? The washroom, the garden, taking a walk. It's me time. I mean, it's only when you disconnect from what you're busy doing, suddenly you get a light bulb. I mean, I have posted stickers in my house, if you ever come, everywhere. I have a posted sticker on my bedside, in the here, everywhere, because ideas come like that. I have a poster sticker when I go for a walk, because suddenly an idea comes to me when I'm most relaxed, and I write it down, and I'll forget it sometimes. You know, you've got a good idea and you're like, oh, I'll remember later, and you go back, what was that idea? Oh, and then you've forgotten. So coming back to the point of decluttering every life, imagine going to your home when it's clean. Don't you feel good? What do we do for Diwali? Why do we clean only for Diwali and clean the whole house? We're cleaning all the negativity away to allow space for positivity. Why not do that as a habit, if not daily, at least weekly? And so I think decluttering would be a good one for you, Bharat.
I think he just deposited into the emotional bank account.
That's good. Yeah.
Great.
No problems.
Thanks a ton.
Thank you all once again.
Yes.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Gautam. Yes, it's been our pleasure to have you today. And, you know, and we've got a lot of, I mean, your father gave you 3, but you've given us lots of nuggets today. So thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Today. Yes.
Thank you.
And very good session, guys. So we'll see you again in 2 weeks from now with the book Fish Philosophy.
Yeah.
I'll join as a participant, Raji.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless everyone.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great
Yes.
evening. All the very best.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.